welcome back to Dicebreaker. I'm Maddie and I'm here with Michael from Infinite Rabbit Hole Games. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I am great. It's so great to be here. I'm loving it here.
Yeah, it's lovely. We've got the whole show full behind us. We're at PAX Unplugged today, and you're going to be talking me through your brand new game. We've seen a little sneak peek at this already, and it's very cool. So do you want to just dive in to give me an overview of what people can expect from the game?
Sure. This is an AR app-driven room escape in a box. So
Very
it's
cool.
8 to 10 hours of gameplay, depending on how great you are at solving puzzles. Okay. And we're seeing closer to 10 hours with even seasoned players, which is great.
Interesting.
Now, people are generally concerned with this idea of, hey, do I have to play this all in one time? But the answer is no. It's broken up into 7 chapters, and you can play at your leisure, and then it remembers where you are in the experience, so that when you come back, it gives you a slight recap, like a previously on.
That's so helpful.
Yeah, because there is lots and lots of video, live action, and animated content to go with it, and so the voicing, and the audio tracks that go, sort of help you get through the whole experience in a really, really beautiful way.
That's so cool. The amount of times I start a game and I'm like, oh, I need to pack it all away, and like, where even was I trying to pull pieces out? Because you've got a great mix of both really lovely physical pieces and obviously the digital experience. And you said you have like voice acting and stuff like that. Like, it's all the digital stuff is honestly like just as much of an experience as the rest of the stuff. Like,
yeah, so much of the puzzle solving is physical stuff that you're working with your friends and family, and I think the sweet spot is maybe 4 or 5 people playing together, but we've seen as few as 1 person play it. But yes, so there's, like you said, there's lots of like big, thick, beautiful chunky things and beautifully printed paper products, but there's also a companion app. Companion app that goes with it that keeps track of the experience and delivers you animations, and you can stream it to your TV, which is cool too.
Oh, amazing.
And so the audio that comes from this, the booming soundtrack, the soundscapes, if you're doing, let's say, that puzzle right there with the pipes, and you're in the sewers of Ace Chemical, for example, you are hearing the most tasteful sewer music you've ever heard in your life. That's the idea. But even when you're playing the paper puzzles, you put your device down, and you're still hearing that ambiance.
Oh, that's
which is
amazing.
a beautiful thing. Yeah.
It's like, so you're like almost like you're putting like a little movie on, and you're like kind of living it, watching people, well, like not watching people solve the puzzles. You are the kind of detective solving the puzzles.
I've got shivers in what you just said. Honestly, look at this. So that's my barometer of awesome, right?
I love
that's
that.
Perfect because whatever it is that we're doing, we literally want you to become a citizen of the world that we're creating. Because we don't want you to just be in the shadows. We don't want you to be the shadow of somebody else sort of going on their, doing what they've done. No, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You are responsible for
Batman's not doing it this time. It's you.
For diffusing the bombs, for setting up the safe zones in Arkham Asylum, and it goes on and on and on. But on my back, the shivers are going. Yeah, because that's I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Citizens of the world that we're creating. That's important.
That's so cool. And you have, rather than Batman in this time, you have Harley as like kind of a bit of a protagonist in this. She's back in Arkham Asylum. Can we know what she's up to?
Yeah, she is no longer an inmate. She is a doctor. Who better to get into the minds of the evil villains that are all over Arkham Asylum than the person that understands that mind?
Yeah.
Right? And we might have talked about this before, that she's a kind of a perfect character for us.
Yeah.
Because she's a little bit of Batman, and she's a little bit of the Joker, and she's got that chaos, and she's fun, but she's also good in her heart. She wants to do good.
She cares about doing good things.
Yeah. And a lot of times when she is doing bad, it's for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, she's got a moral compass, like it might be a little wacky and a little not quite in a straight line like Batman is, but yeah, like she's trying to do good in her own way.
Yeah.
So are we playing as Harley? Are we meeting Harley? Like,
that's a good question.
Yeah, or is it a secret?
It's not so much a secret, but I'll say this, like Harley has 2 personalities, right?
Right.
She's Harley Quinn, and she's awesome and doing backflips and trashing bozos, right?
Love her.
But then she's also Harleen Quinzel,
Yeah.
and that's her professional name.
Yeah.
Right? I am Michael, and I'm Mike, and I'm many other names.
Yeah.
Right?
We've got little personalities.
But you get to play both.
Oh,
here.
fine.
But like I said, there are times when you're diffusing bombs, and so you feel like you're part of the bomb squad. There are times when you're part of the building commission of Gotham City, because you're building papercraft buildings and then scanning them, and then as you saw, the city comes to life in different ways. And more, and that's kind of a thing here.
It's amazing, because it's almost like you've got Gotham changing around you for the choices you're making, and you're kind of like seeing it in real time, I guess. It's like, because we saw kind of one moment of things happening and like things on buildings coming up, and we're scanning things and taking pictures. I'm assuming that's going to evolve and change as you play.
That's exactly right. And when you were doing that, if you remember, you were taking pictures, but you were getting evidence that was used later on in the experience, and you didn't get to experience that pays off, and you're like, oh, it was a cool experience that I did when I was taking pictures, but then it was a meaningful thing later on when the story gets unfolded.
Yeah, you're collecting little pieces of evidence.
Yeah. And that's sort of an important thing too, that there is a symbiosis to, it's story that leads to meaningful puzzle, that leads to meaningful AR, that leads to meaningful story again in different combinations throughout for 8 to 10 hours. That's the idea.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So with the AR, obviously, like I know some people can be kind of put off by like a companion app, but what I really liked when you showed us through, it wasn't you just look, everyone's kind of staring at like a bit of text on a phone, you know, like it is really bringing the world to life. I mean, if you want to, we were like walking in a room and things, if you want to kind of like talk a little bit about that, because it's just, it's so much more than what you normally expect with a game that has like an app kind of thing with it.
And that's exactly where we started was, how do we take this technology that comes that people are like, well, I've seen a dragon in my house. I understand what AR is.
Yeah.
And we think, maybe you don't. Maybe you haven't seen it pushed as far as it can go. So when Alex Liu and I looked at AR for the first time, we thought, and this is 4 years ago now.
Right? Okay.
And we thought, this is a storytelling platform.
Yeah.
The world doesn't know it yet. Let's let the world know that.
That's amazing. Because, as you say, normally it's like, oh, look, there's one thing in my room. But, you're pulling them all together with all different things, like walking around a little vault and stuff. We were like having like cogs and like reaching out and putting them to do puzzles, not to spoil anything.
So to pay off what you're talking about, the situation is, there are times in the experience when you're solving puzzles and you're delivered either a full screen animation or an animation that's happening in your hands, if you remember that magical moment. But you see Harleen in her environment, and she grabs for an envelope, let's say that Arkham Asylum #1 envelope, and she says, aha, time to get to work. And you're like, here comes the shivers again. And you're like, oh, this is time for me now to open up the thing that I have in a natural way without getting beat over the head with it. You unzip it, and you're using the physical manifestation of the digital items that she is finding in Gotham City, and so Gotham City is pouring out in your house.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get to the vault. I'm getting there now. So you've got these physical objects now that you've earned in a very, very organic way. Right?
It. Yeah.
And if you remember, it was, wait a minute, put this on the floor now, scan this, and step back, and then you step back, and there was police tape. Remember this?
Yes.
And I'm not giving away too much. And then you're like, okay, well, that's cool.
This.
There's a police tape. And then, I press this button. It doesn't say press the button, but it's the only thing to do. And you're like, yes.
Guess we'll see what happens next.
And then a room appears in from Gotham City, and you get to walk into it.
Yeah.
And so we want to own this idea of step into the game.
Yeah, that's
with
so
your
cool.
phone, and you get to do that. Now, I go further now. So that very physical thing that you got that was digital becomes a digital thing in front of your hand. Do you remember that? How it was magically animating, and you get to place it and repair the thing that's in Gotham City that's in my house. There's some sort of Inception wonderment that's happening there.
Yeah,
it's hard to wrap your head around.
It's so integrated, It's not just like, do the phone, then we do the thing. As you say, like you're reaching into one and reaching into the other and pulling pieces together. Like it's such a kind of full experience together.
So a game that fascinates all of us, right?
Yeah.
Is Portal, right?
Yes.
I shoot in there. The bullet comes out here and triggers a thing.
Yeah.
That's the feeling that we want.
There
are a lot of levels of the secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
But we just talked about 3 of the myriad that a lot of them I don't want to talk about, but a lot of them because I want to save the surprises. but the great thing was we repair the safe. We can then interact with the safe with the keypad, which is not even in my house, in the weirdest way possible.
Pressing buttons.
Right? Which, number one, you think about a platform, right? All of a sudden, you're like, well, I can understand gaming in a whole different way now. This isn't just a game. This is now a platform to tell any stories with any brand, including our own that we've got worked out with Jervis, our new rabbit character, our cute character.
Oh, the rabbit character.
But not just that, but other things that are coming out that we're working on that are going to do this, but in different ways, different combinations. And so this was a proving grounds for something new. This was to get the world excited and comfortable with something that they've never seen before.
Right.
And that's part of the hurdle for us.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. It's like, I mean, you were saying earlier, you're kind of trying to convince people that yeah, no, you can do this on your phone. It's not just you're showing it on an iPad. Like this is, you can use it on any phone, Android, iPhone, like, or tablet, putting it on a TV. Like anyone can be doing these amazing things.
So iPhones alone,
Yeah.
2 billion of these walking around right here.
Everyone's
I'm
got
looking
one.
at this teeming craziness out there.
Yeah.
There are thousands of them going on out there, just here alone. And like you said, Android, iPads, holy smokes, it's great.
Yeah.
And by the way, the hurdles to do the Android, because
Was it
people
hard?
asked for it, because we didn't realize that people even would care.
Yeah.
But they did, and we did it. And now there's parity between the two, and that's exciting.
Oh,
And
amazing.
really, I think this is where we're going. We're going to be having more and more of the virtual reality, number one, but also I think the augmented reality is exciting because I want to see my cat in my
Yeah.
gameplay, right? I want to
Like,
see
come
Gotham
solve
City
the
and my cat
thing with
peering
me.
around the buildings. That's kind of cool.
That's cute.
And I don't know whether I showed you, but this, people think, well, what if you're covering some of this as you're looking at it from the
Yeah.
city? But we've got it set up so that you can cover 90% of it.
Amazing.
And once you've scanned it, it knows where it was, it knows where the thing is, and so it's always checking for that little bit that's still there.
Yeah, the
and showing
tracking was
you.
amazing. You're just like moving stuff around, throwing it, picking it up. Like it's just following it. I think,
It's almost a magic trick, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, going on that, you all have quite interesting backgrounds. I heard you have done some magic tricks, magician.
We haven't talked about that, have
No,
we?
but you,
All right.
and not just because I love magicians, this is relevant, but you have backgrounds on your team of people, theme park design, like you're bringing a lot of really interesting experience to this, not just kind of digital stuff.
It's great. It's great that you brought that up. Thank you, because you let me brag a little bit for the team and
I'd
myself.
love to hear.
You know,
Yeah, it's so cool.
And I'll go me last, but first of all, the president of the company is Susan Bonds. She
Right.
was ex-Imagineer, ex-NASA,
Oh, wow.
ex-Lockheed Martin. Like she worked on Space Shuttle,
Okay.
Epcot, and if you've ever rode the Indiana Jones ride
Yes.
at Disneyland, that could not have been done without her. Period. Making sure that all the bits and pieces are right. And that ride
So
isn't so much
cool.
about the experience in the thing.
Yeah.
It's about what you're looking at and you're absorbing as you go through it without thinking about it. It
Right.
is the theme park mentality that
Just
goes
feels
into
so real.
this.
Yeah.
Everything. It's the angels and the architecture that make it so amazing, really.
Yeah,
Yes,
that-
we've seen, again, the shivers, but it's a big deal, and that's one person,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And then you have Johnny Rodriguez, who was in charge of the look and feel of everything, and I've worked with him since
Yes.
1996, which tells you how old I am. We started at Disney together. We went to Warner Brothers and Nickelodeon and all these other places,
cool.
and I stayed working with the same 3 people
Yeah.
for the past, my whole career. Yes, hundreds of people have come and gone for different reasons, but we are the core, and we all do different things, and we
Cool.
scratch each other's backs in an amazing way. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Johnny is a wonderful painter and illustrator, but he could also kill you with his thumbs because he is also a cage fighter. I feel like
okay.
I feel like everybody on the team has a super power that
That's
they
so
do
fun.
at night that is just off the wall.
That's very
crazy.
Harley Quinn, you know? You
Alex Liu
understand that.
is a crazy graffiti artist who's done crazy things around the world. And whenever one of us has a project
Yeah.
that's special, we tap the other two and we take each other on adventures all over the world for different things.
Interesting.
I am a magician member of the Magic Castle, as it
That's so
turns
cool.
out. And so generally the magic stuff that happens in here, it's infused because of that and my love for it since I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah. And so
That understanding of kind of
yeah.
crafting an illusion and kind of making people kind of not think about reality so much for a minute, kind of just like be in the magic, which is why I love magic tricks.
And
So
magic tricks are
cool.
important because to me it's the most immersive thing that you can do with
Yeah,
people. There's
'cause
this
it's right
There's
there.
this one-on-one thing, and it's not
Yeah.
about creating the dove. It's
Yeah.
about the name a thing and it manifests.
Right.
It's about this connection that you have with somebody, and that's a
Yeah.
super important thing. But that's what this is.
Yes,
This is more
right.
about the community base than it is about the puzzle base, right? And there are great puzzles here.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
we've literally designed
very
thousands of
interested
puzzles for marketing campaigns and video games for
Oh,
AAA titles and
amazing.
movies, and we did the marketing campaign for The Dark Knight as an example.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah,
between-
so good experience.
Batman Begins and Batman, and so in Dark Knight, and we told a 1.5 year long story with Christopher Nolan,
Wow.
and it touched 40 cities, and there were 11 million players, and
Right.
it might have won a couple of awards.
Ooh,
But the deal
big
is,
background.
it's all of this that comes into this. Whether
Yeah.
it's magic and cage fighting and everything else. that makes it good. But it's for families too. It's not meant to
Yeah.
be so mind-numbingly difficult. This is an important thing. We want
That's
you to get to
cool.
the end.
Yeah,
We
it's
want
nice
that.
to want to complete a game.
What is the sense of creating something beautiful and putting your heart into something if nobody ever sees the end, you know?
No,
There's a really
100%.
important thing.
Yeah, you want to finish it. We want people to finish and play and go through.
That was a long answer for your question.
No, I love it. It's you're bringing really interesting stuff, so it's really exciting to hear about it. And talking about community, I think that's one of the things you were mentioning before, which I found was really lovely. Obviously, talking about like, VR is great and stuff, but like it's one person putting a headset on and one person kind of having the experience. Whereas this is because it's like you can just grab a phone, anyone can see it. Everyone kind of crowd around and see what you're looking at, like
and stream it.
Yeah,
as needed, and they can direct from their seats, and that's exciting. With the Coke and with the pizza, and it's exciting. We've seen craziness with that, but that's not to say that we're not thinking of 4 phones working together where we're all seeing the same thing. But how about this? We're seeing different things. How about this? I'm looking at the past. You're looking at the future. He's looking at the present. This person has the rule book, and then you're working together in a weird way. Like there are all these combinations of gameplay that's possible with this format now.
Yeah,
and it's just a
matter
of
possibilities.
You know what it's a matter of? It's a matter of time. Now. Right. That's really what it is. And so there are so many whiteboard amazing things that
I'm sure we have like
we're already working on
this and this and this and this.
Yeah, and that's the problem. There is a problem of pencils down, guys.
Yeah, we just got to pick one. We got to
without the project manager going, all right, enough. How much?
We can talk forever.
It's not enough. Well, it's the feature creep too. When you look at the box, I think it says, I don't know how many hours it's there. That's
5 to 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's double that. It's about double that because we kept going and we had to print it.
Right.
And then there was there's a point when you're gilding a gilded lily.
Yes.
And you
eventually
saw
you have to stop.
And you sort of saw that.
Yeah, there are just so many elements to it, which is just really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, every little thing, like the stains that are seared in the handwriting of Harley. Like if you really chose to look at it, there's so much stuff for the super fan to look at and go,
that's fun.
That's from episode or comic book X, Y, and Z. That's from, there are all this canon stuff. And let's talk about canon first.
So you're in the Batman universe.
You don't just write a Batman story and just go, okay, it's going to go. No.
Yeah.
You have to go through, some paces with DC and have them go, that fits with what we've done. It builds on what we already have. Here are the characters that we're not so certain you should do. But they're like, you know what? We understand because of the Dark Knight project.
Yeah.
You
there's
guys
not
a lot of red
understand
tape.
Batman. Yeah.
And then so let's talk about look and feel now.
Right.
So when you're doing a new Batman, it's a universe. You're creating a universe, right? You need a new look and feel.
Right.
So you've got the Bruce Timm look, of cartoons, and you've got the Tim Burton look of the movies. You got to say, well, here's how this is different.
Yeah.
And yet somehow in the world, right?
Yeah, still feels cohesive, but got its own style.
And so with the animations that you saw, it was all watercolor and different. And and it was the Rorschachs that determined
that's really fun.
The watercolor. And that made sense because she is a doctor.
Psychologist, she would be using these things.
And these are the things, that go into the building of it. What is the thing? And it's a literal psychology behind the gameplay. And I'm going to try to stop now.
That's amazing. Again, I could go on forever because I love Batman. I love puzzles. This is fantastic. But let's just tell people probably the question they all have. It's out right now, right? You can
buy it. And the outlets, it's more and more outlets right now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously on the floor right now, but you can go to Amazon and with Prime.
Yeah.
Holy moly, it just comes to you, no shipping, because that was a deal before. It's a 9-pound baby.
I was like, it's chunky.
Normally, like if you were to ship this to Europe, and I'm sorry, Europeans. It's
no, we know. It's a struggle.
It's hard. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's not on us,
No, of
course. We want that. We want everybody in the world to have it, You can find it also on infiniterabbitholes.com.
Amazing.
And right now, I think there's a special running through Christmas, which is good.
That's good to know.
And I'm excited about that. And it'll soon be in Target and on Target Online, and so I think that's enough. Those are enough outlets for now.
Yeah,
we are working hard to get them in people's hands or whatever. And if anybody's ever in Los Angeles, honestly, look me up either at the Magic Castle.
I would love to.
And by the way, I'm ex-Disney and Warner. It's like the magic is just a passion. It's what I do on the weekends every night.
But your superpower.
And it's fantastic. And I just love immersive experiences. And I love people.
Too.
And I love watching people do the thing because I'm doing this just as much for seeing the people
see the magic
react
come
and
to life.
Yeah. I love the aha moments of the wallflower who was not alpha. Because everything like this that you play, there's always the alpha, right?
Yeah,
like,
someone's leading through.
And then they go, I'm at a wall now.
Stuck.
And then the wallflower is like, we'll have you tried the X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then the power shifts.
Because someone's coming from a different angle, they're looking at it because, it's
and that's a
3D
beautiful thing.
all around.
And how can you possibly know everything? And you can't.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the hive mind. Right?
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Thank you so much for running me through this, Michael. It looks
Are you kidding?
great. I'm sure people are going to be very excited to check it out. We will also have links in the description, of course. Is there anything else you would like to tell people before we
My gosh.
run out?
I think that's all pretty good.
Perfect.
I think that's good. Yeah, just get the game. It's great.
Go to
Honestly,
it.
there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. And we're just starting, really. We've got a platform, and we're not going to stop.
More things coming, so keep an eye out. Thank you very much for watching and joining us. We will see you on the next one. But until then, have a lovely day. Bye.